Hello and welcome back to I Tried to Conquer CALRADIA in 100 days. And yes, we're going to go up against more Saranid vassals. This is actually going to be one of the last battles that we do against them because I am pretty much done. I think we only have 2 more castles that I am actually eligible to capture, because under the stipulations that I have mentioned previously in the series, it is all to do with maximizing our time and making it so that, you know, we have, well, let's just say, making it so that we actually have the most opportunity to be as efficient as possible with our sieges. It is very, very important that we are efficient with those. If we're not, then it's, well, it's probably a game over, straight up, you know? It's probably a game over straight up, because we are otherwise then going to be stuck doing siege towers, and we don't want to do siege towers. That's absolutely impossible, very, very bad for us to do, unless we have an insane engineer. If we had someone with, you know, 8, 9, maybe even 10 engineering, then we would be able to take those castles very, very easily. And, you know, that would be that would be pretty cool. You know, that would be pretty cool and pretty fun. But yeah, no. The way that we're doing it right now, this is pretty much the only kind of thing I can think of to really make us have any chance whatsoever in making the time limit. But I, as I say, I don't think it's actually possible. I actually do not believe it is possible for us to do it in 100 days. I don't think it's actually likely. And unfortunately, look at that, I actually got myself eliminated. I'm actually surprised about that too, because I was really trying quite hard there to survive. It's okay, because of course we could just, you know, go straight back on in here, but obviously I ended up losing the renown. But I suppose the renown doesn't really matter, as I said before. Renown is very, well, it's there's an infinite source of renown, basically, you know, as long as you have the ability to go into battles that are relatively large, then renown is at your fingertips pretty much all the time, so we don't have to worry about it too much. But yes, anyway, the point is, we really do want to try and avoid the siege tower sieges, at least for now. And later on down the line, if there is a later on down the line, we'll see what happens. Because here's the thing, I have basically, well, I think at least, the Saranids are crippled. I think that they are, they're looking pretty weak right now. Yeah, sure, okay, fine, yeah. They definitely have vassals, and those vassals can run around, and they can indeed capture the things that we have captured. So they can retaliate and actually capture back their territory. And they can do that relatively easily as well, surprisingly enough. But that is only because I have very little time. I have very little time to do anything with my garrisons. If I was playing this normally, I would obviously make sure to put a couple more people in there. I'd do like I did at Nara, and I would just recruit a bunch of people from the nearby villages, and we would then, you know, have a bunch of people there, and it would be a lot easier and a lot more secure, and, you know, all that wonderful stuff. But as it stands, I currently can't do that, of course. I just can't. There's just absolutely there is no way that I can do that. So I'm actually going to be changing around my step horse right now, because I actually really, really like the heavy hunter horse, because this actually provides us with more speed, and that's kind of what I want. You know, I have a need for speed right now. There we go. A bloody business, Captain, a bloody business. Although a necessary one, of course. Ferentis, I believe, shares my ambivalence about this constant fighting. It saddens him deeply to take the lives of his fellow men, however just the cause. He and I have talked together of a bright future, of the need to unite these petty warring kingdoms of CALRADIA so that we may bring this time of troubles to an end. In other words, he actually likes him. He actually likes Ferentis quite a bit, which is really, really nice. And speaking of Ferentis, I actually do want to equip him with some good stuff, because I think he's actually going to become our first vassal. Funnily enough, if I can actually make him a vassal, I'm kind of hoping I will be able to. Let's just see whether that's even possible. Did he level up? No. He is very close to leveling up, though. I'm not sure whether I should just just bite the bullet and just go for it, you know? Just make him a vassal and just hope that his leadership skills are going to be, you know, paying off a little bit more than, you know, they might otherwise. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a good idea. Well, it looks as though the Sarranids are offering me 7,800 dinars in cash if they if they get the Sultan back. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. I'm back here at Nara, by the way, because I actually needed to place some people in the garrison. I was actually placing Mr. Sultan Hakim himself in there, and yes, I always find that quite funny when they decide to ransom them. I'm not entirely sure why they would do that, but, you know, that's not really up to me. Now, I was actually going to besiege Samara Castle, but unfortunately, 2 vassals decided to go in there at the last moment, so that's obviously not good. I'm going to be saying no to this, even though we are losing honor. I don't really want them to get all of their vassals back. That would not be very good. So yeah, it's only going to take 5 hours, thankfully, due to Jeremus having some crazy good stuff. So yeah, he's obviously going to be helping us a great deal. We're going to be losing quite a lot of honor as I decline their pleas for ransom. It's not exactly great. I did get Ferentis some new gear, by the way. I got him a new helmet, and I got him some new torso armor, and it only cost me 2,500 total, which is actually kind of crazy, because the helmet was really, really good, by the way. It had like 50 protection on that thing, so I was actually very surprised that it turned out so cheap, but it did, so I'm very, very happy about that. I'm probably going to get shot in the face and killed instantly here, so, you know, just bear that in mind, because obviously they do have skirmishers, and skirmishers are very well known for their upfront burst damage, you know, especially when you take it in the face. But yes, hopefully I will be able to get a couple of kills in the meantime. Hopefully Ferentis will get a couple of kills, and maybe, just maybe, we might be able to level him up. Yes, we might be able to level him up. He is actually getting quite a few kills, surprisingly enough. I'm really surprised. What? Okay. I've never actually seen that before. It's quite funny. I have literally been in a situation so many times where I've been basically begging our companions to level up, and they just never do, you know? They just never do. But for some reason, in this series, my companions are doing surprisingly well in regards to their own level ups, and I'm very surprised that I'm still alive, actually, by the way. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I assume that the enemy is just not very good at what they do for some reason this time around, because as you've seen in previous episodes, I've died in 1 hit pretty much all the time. So yeah, I guess I just got lucky. I guess I just got lucky. That must be it. There can't be any other reason. So there we go. That is indeed a victory for us. Very, very simple. And oh yeah, by the way, I have checked all of the other castles, right? All the other castles, with the exception of 3. And I'm going to be going to the next one just after this. 8 renown. Wow, that was really pretty bad. Only 8 renown. Okay, well, I'm actually not entirely sure what to do here right now, because I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to go to the trouble of capturing a bunch of people? I mean, as you can see, my money situation is doing pretty well right now, because I just sold, you know, Sultan Hakim back. And let me see, I want to defer the appointment of a lord. Do I want to? Yeah, I do want to do that, I guess. I do want to do that. We should probably just make Ferentis a vassal right now, to be fair, because he's going to take quite some time to get on his feet as it is, and we don't really have a huge amount of time, do we? Some animal, clearly. Yes. There we go. Let's just murder him, thank you very much. Okay. And such a waste. Yes, such a waste. Okay, there is a ransom broker here, which is obviously fantastic. I did not actually know that there was one. So very, very nice. Good. A little bit of extra cash. Never hurt anyone. And we can get some mercenary horsemen if we want to. But I think I'm probably not going to do that. Yeah, so let's actually speak to Ferentis and actually just get him... I guess just get him a vassalage or something like that. I don't know. Seems like that's probably going to be the way to go. So Let's do it. I want to ask you something. Would you be interested in holding a thief? Okay, here we go. Let's give him Cherise. Or Decuba? What's most likely to be taken? I think Cherise is probably the one most likely to be taken, so we're just going to give him that. There we go. Yeah, I am surprised that you find me worthy to govern men, as I am just beginning to learn to govern myself. But if you indeed wish it, I would be most honored to hold Cherise in your name and dedicate myself to the protection of those who live there. Alright, so yeah, he's going to go off and do that. Hopefully he's going to do a good job. I am pretty sure he will, to a decent degree. I'm not saying that he's going to be absolutely amazing or that he's going to be supernaturally, you know, strong or anything like that, but we kind of need the help. If he has a little bit extra in terms of, you know, people, as in, you know, if he's bringing about 100 people to the battle, then I'll be happy with that. If he doesn't, then I can only hope he levels up, right? I can only hope he levels up a little bit and maybe specs somewhat into leadership or whatever, and hopefully that is going to result in slightly higher success for us in the future. Now, this is going to be a bit of a tough one. This siege is going to be well, I wouldn't say particularly difficult, but it is going to be more difficult than the previous one because there's only one ladder. And as you know, one ladder usually equals death. Is that Marnid going up there by himself? I need to get him some better torso armor. I was so focused on Ferentes that I completely forgot to get Marnid some better torso armor. But to be fair, he doesn't really have good enough strength to be able to use decent armor, so that's the reason why we're not really having the opportunity to do that. I actually really enjoyed going into the siege. I think, oh, actually, yeah, that reminds me. We haven't really gone into a siege and had good success in regards to me even getting in to the battle, because I've had to just basically stand outside. That seems to be a thing that happens almost all the time now, unfortunately. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to literally place these people. I'm just going to place them outside. And I'm going to just do nearby soldiers, you know, the nearby soldiers command. It's a very, very useful command if you want to, you know, order people to get out of your way. And that's exactly what I'm attempting to do here. I obviously, I would like to get in, you know, and actually do a little bit of fighting, because I think that's fun. But yeah, you can see here, look at this. We just lost 3 Swadian knights and 1 hired blade. And I have to admit, that is classic Warband, you know, that is classic Warband. Even though I have a companion with 5 surgery skill, I mean, yeah, 5 is not amazing, but 5 is definitely a lot more than what you'd normally have, right? You know, so yeah, anyway, the point is, it's very, very costly when we lose people like that, but you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. Anyway, let's just see if I can achieve victory here. Oh no, am I gonna die? No, I think I'll be okay. No, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Is it though? Yeah, it is okay. That was actually a little bit too close for my liking. A little bit too close. That just goes to show I should really be a little bit more careful. Because these guys, they're not very good. Let me tell you, you know, these guys are not very good. They're very low tier. And I almost died versus them. But I guess that just goes to show, you know, Iron Flesh is something that I don't really have. So, you know, generally in combat, we are much weaker than someone that has spec'd into Iron Flesh and various other things. That guy did a crowd surf. Did you see that? He did a crowd surf. Look, there's another one doing a crowd surf. I am surprised. Usually it's just me doing that. So, yeah, my guys are getting in on the action. I like it. All right. And there it is. There we go. 11 renown for us. Yeah, we did end up losing 2 Swadian Knights and 1 Hired Blade, as well as a Nord Huskarl, one of my only Nord Huskarls, but we did end up killing 243 enemies. So I suppose it is, I guess, kind of to be expected, right? Yeah. All right. Well, whatever the case, I will just be taking all of these people because we're going to just slap them in the garrison, I suppose. And this loot is literally just going to get sold. And then we're gonna buy something for Mr. Marnid. Yes, Mr. Marnid. We're gonna give this to Forentis. Basically, I am going to be pretty much giving everything that I can to him at this point, and hopefully that's going to help him to grow his army dramatically. I don't think it works as you know, as it does in Bannerlord, obviously, because it's been a while since I've actually done anything in regards to fief management, vassal management, and stuff like that in Warband, so I am a little bit rusty in that regard. But anyway, it doesn't really matter too much, because we are going to be probably okay here. I think I can probably sell all of this. I don't think I really need to worry about this too much. Let's just sell all of that. There we go. Another 1,200. Pretty nice, actually, surprisingly enough. And we also have ransom brokers here. I'm gonna. Oh no, I was actually gonna say I'm going to take those fellows, but no, doesn't seem like I can actually do that. Okay, here's Marnid. So let's actually just take a quick look at him. Yeah. So this is obviously much better for him. There we go. And I was actually thinking that maybe he'd use this, but no, he's absolutely fine. As you can see, he's actually using some pretty good stuff, with the exception of the shield. The shield is not particularly good, but he is going to be staying with us for a little bit longer here, so that he may be able to level up quite nicely. So here you go, there you go. That's it. Samara Castle is the only one that we couldn't take, because there were just, in my opinion at least, a little bit too many vassals in there, and I didn't really want to, you know, go in and potentially suffer, you know, massive amounts of casualties or something. So that's the reason why I'm being a little bit careful about it. Now, what we could do is we could go up to attack the Vagirs. The question is, do we want to go up there and attack them? Or do we want to attack someone else? For example, the Rodox. Do we want to attack the Rodox? Not really. If I'm honest, I don't really want to attack the Rodox, because they are very, very powerful, but it is something that we have to do eventually. You know, we have to do that eventually, so there is basically no point in putting it off. But I'm not entirely sure how many days it's been so far, because we were on day 39 at the end of the previous episode, and I think it's been about 5, 6, 7 days maybe so far, and so we are almost at the halfway point. And I'm thinking right now that because the Vagirs are still technically at war against us, it might make sense for us to just literally attack them. You know? You know what? Yeah, fine. Let's actually go up there and deal with them, shall we? Okay, the question is, do I want to attack Samara Castle before we leave? The problem is these guys are going to be so annoying. This is the reason why I actually really like the execution mechanics in Bannerlord, because it does make it so that you don't have to worry about vassals coming back and attacking you all the time, or raiding your villages like they just did here. You know, it's very frustrating when that happens, because you just get that pop-up and it's like, oh, well, I couldn't do anything about it because I was halfway across the map. You know, those kinds of situations. Anyway, I'm just going to charge everyone into the enemy's faces, and they will not know. They will not know what has happened. They will consistently look through the window, and they will see to themselves, is this an operating system? I don't know. It could be, or not. I don't know why. This is the funny thing. They call it windows, but they didn't call it doors. They didn't call it Doors? I don't know. Maybe it's because there's a band called The Doors. Maybe that's it. Is there a band called The Windows? No. Is there? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Anyway, the point is, they do not know what is about to befall them. And they would need some kind of future-telling seer of some kind to be able to know the outcome here. But funnily enough, I feel like this has gone dramatically different than what I would have expected, because we've... I mean, just think about it. We started as a Vagia vassal. We attacked a town solo. We took the town by ourselves, and then we, you know, defected from, you know, being a vassal and created our very own faction. We defended our town and expanded outward from there and attempted to take and indeed expand our territory so dramatically that we have now basically crushed an entire faction. And I have to admit, I actually think that that is... I think that's pretty impressive. I don't know. I'm not sure whether that is... You know, is that good progress? Have we done a good job? I don't know. That's the question. Have we done a good job? You know what? I'm not going to go to Samara Castle. I feel like fighting some Vagias. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, I don't think... I mean, look, there's basically no one here, but look at how long it's going to take. 54 hours. This is literally 2 days, over 2 days, for us to create a siege tower. There is just no way that that is going to work in regards to our time limit. So that's the reason why I'm kind of, you know, a little bit dubious about that. And if we had, you know, 9 maybe would be the minimum that we could potentially handle. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, so that's the point. 9 engineering would probably be the way to go. But anything else apart from that is not really going to work. Let's just get a bunch of people in there. Let's go into the tavern, see if there are any mercenaries. Yes, hired blades. Very nice. There we go. Okay, hired blades are actually pretty good, by the way. For mercenary units, they are nice. You know, they're solid. They're not amazing or anything like that. You know, they're not like Nord Huskars or anything, but they are good. They are solid people. So let's actually go in here. 185. Okay, wait a minute. 1 marksman. Okay. They have 1 marksman. This should be completely fine. Now we are also going to have to... Yep. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, he's going to attack. I knew as soon as I saw him, boom, that was also King Yaraglek. I knew as soon as there was a guy with 200, that was the king. So he's gonna be, he's gonna be getting it good. He's gonna be getting it good right now. Okay, so let's actually charge everyone in. Here we go. Look at this. We've got some insane damage incoming. Well, yeah, we do have some insane... we do have some insane damage incoming. For me, yes. For me. Not from me, but for me. Ah, that's great. That was fantastic. Well, what a... That is a classic Reformist moment right there. Absolutely classic. Because, you know, just think about it. You know, I go, oh yes, we've got massive damage incoming for our opponents. And then it turns out that that's not the case. No. I mean, yeah, we are doing a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. We are doing massive damage because we have Swadian Knights, and these Swadian Knights are just murdering everything in sight. But the fact that we took over 200 damage to our own mount and got it killed almost instantaneously upon us entering the battle, that is hilarious. Ah, what a wonderful turn of events, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't that great? Okay, so there you go. That is indeed King Yaraglek. I'm calling it right now, by the way. I'm literally calling it right now. This is literally the equivalent of, you know, watching some kind of sports game and going, oh yeah, you know, after the first quarter or after the first half or whatever, you just go, yeah, they've lost. That's kind of what's going on here, even though I technically am calling it a little bit too early, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be dead. There doesn't seem to be much he can do to really come back from this. Unless I die. Which I could very well be cursing myself right now. I could literally just be going, yeah, you know what? Jinx me. Jinx me all over. Yes. That's exactly what could be happening right now. I could be saying to myself, oh yeah, let me just die right quick. You know, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, Vagia Guards, I've always felt like they are kind of an interesting unit, because obviously the most that you're going to get from the Vagiers is extremely powerful archers, right? They are the ones that are going to completely and utterly massacre you in all kinds of siege situations. They're very, very strong. Unless you have, you know, strong heavy infantry or something like that that can just absorb all of the arrows. Because, of course, Vagier marksmen, they have an incredibly high DPS. They are using arrows at an astonishing rate. And obviously the main problem with that is that they run out of arrows and then they're basically useless. That's one of the things that, you know, you have to bear in mind. This guy obviously managed to escape, which is kind of unfortunate too. It would have been really, really nice if we would have been able to take him prisoner. That would have been actually fantastic. That probably would have been probably the best thing that could have happened there if we could have taken him prisoner, but you know, that's just how it goes, isn't it? That's just how it goes. Anyway, let's just wait here for a little bit of time because I don't think I took any damage, but I think some of our people did take some damage, so it's probably going to be a good idea. Didn't get a sally out, so that's kind of unfortunate too. Would have been nice if we got one because that would have just absolutely destroyed the garrison. And this is hilarious. This layout is good. This layout is very, very good for an archer-focused faction. You can see that right here. Massive archer nest on the top right there. Very, very good. And you're going to have to get around that. You know, you're going to have to get around that. Run all the way around. It's going to be extremely difficult most of the time if the infantry are doing their jobs. Well, it does look as though I was able to get through. Wow, I had to hold my breath a little bit there, didn't I? Oh, yes. Okay, so wait a second. Let's just see. Am I going to be okay here? Maybe. Probably not. Ooh, wait. No. Let's do a little bit of smart fighting here. Smart fighting, okay? Smart fighting. There we go. Okay. Gotta make sure that no one's coming in from behind me as well. You never know. These guys probably want to fight me even more. There we go. Alright, I'm losing some Swadian Knights right now, which is obviously to be expected. These fellows really want to murder me super badly. I don't have a shield right now either. Okay, here we go. Okay. No, we're fine. We're fine. This guy is an utter... What is up with him? He's an utter beast. He's blocking every single attack. How does he do that? I don't know. But he is absolutely destroying me on a cellular level. And that guy literally just turned around. Wow, that is actually incredible. That was extremely well done from him right there. We did end up losing quite a few people in general. You know, it wasn't just me dying there that made us lose that, but just in general, that was actually really quite shocking. Anyway, there we go. We're just going to go straight back on in. There's barely anyone here now, so we're just going to let my forces do most of the work, because as you can see, look at what we have on the archery nest there. There's basically no one up there now. And there it is, Jeremus got the final kill in this siege, and we didn't end up losing anyone else super harsh, so that's pretty nice. And we are basically just going to move on straight away. Now, I am probably going to continue deferring appointment of a lord here, because Forentus, he'd have to come all the way up here to be able to defend this, and I don't really want him to do that. Obviously, he probably will if he has to or can. I'm actually not entirely sure what he's going to do about that, but we've already taken this, and there's 38 people in there. I am going to be launching an attack against Raverdin very soon, and yeah, I'm going to just let them besiege that if they want to. That is not a big deal, okay? Just bear that in mind, okay? Anytime the AI wants to retake something that we've taken, we don't have to worry about it, okay? There is really very little. I'm not trying to stress about it, you know. It is not important if they take it back. It is all to do with scaling. It's all to do with scaling. It's all to do with manipulating the environment and the situation to give us the greatest possible advantage. And even if they manage to take it, that does not matter, because if they take it, there's going to be an extremely small garrison. I can just immediately head in there and do whatever I need to do and then just get out, and that's it. It's going to be super, super simple for us. And that is indeed the reason why we should be very thankful that they're actually taking it back, because if they take it back, it means they may not be defending Ravenholm when we go and attack it in just a moment. So I'm just going to level up Marnid and get his strength to 10, because that unlocks a bunch of sort of more advanced armor for him, which is quite nice. And I also leveled up. Look at this. So I can get another point in charisma right here. I don't even know whether I should really even be speccing into charisma anymore. It's actually never happened to me that I have specced this much into charisma. Usually I never do that. So I'm basically just doing that because I want to try to maximize the amount of troops that we have, because our troops are the main reason why we're actually winning. Yeah, believe it or not, you know, our troops are the ones that are actually doing most of the heavy lifting here. I'm thinking we're probably going to be going... Actually, you know what? I think trainer skill might actually start paying off a little bit now. So let's go for some trainer skill here. And I'm otherwise going to be ending this episode off here. And that is hopefully going to be the start of our invasion into the Vajir territory. Stay tuned for the day count. I forgot in the previous episode. My apologies. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.